Hi, as you may be able to see from the backdrop, I've been doing some spraying recently. I've been using an HVLP system, which stands for high volume low pressure, and the unit I've been using is this, which is the Erlex HV5500. I've had this for a couple of years now, and I've used it maybe half a dozen times, so it's not something that I've used a lot of, but it is handy to have in the workshop. I'm not here to do a full review of this system. I've got something else in mind for this video, but before we get on to that, I just want to mention a couple of things about it. Firstly, this is the gun that comes with the HV5500. It's quite a nice gun actually. Having said that, I don't have a great deal to compare it to because I've never used any other paint spraying systems, but I think it's quite a nice gun for the money. It's quite ergonomic, it's got some adjustment, it's got a nice big paint pot that's PTFE lined. The whole gun is quite easy to clean, it comes apart and goes back together quite easily, and it gets the job done. The bit that I don't like is this, which is the turbine. Now, HVLP systems use turbines to create airflow and pressure. Higher end systems use multiple turbines, multiple stages to compress that air even more and get it up to a higher pressure. Professional HVLP systems can be 5, 6, 7 or even 8 stages, and they create pressures of up to 10 psi, whereas low end models like this have much fewer stages. I'm not sure if this is a 2-stage or it may even be a single stage, and these run at much lower pressures. Also, it's an awkward size and shape to store in the workshop. It's got this crappy handle on the top that usually falls off when you lift it, and the hose is a pain to store, and also the mains kit, see what I mean? Also the mains cable that it comes with is far too short, so I have to get an extension lead out every time I want to use it. Now, when I first got this, I thought, wouldn't it be cool if I could dismantle all this and rebuild it into a sustainer? I'm a big Festool fan. I've got lots of Festool stuff. I've also got quite a bit of non-Festool stuff, but I store it all in sustainers, which makes everything much easier to transport and store. So I had this idea, take this apart, build it into a sustainer. Like most of my ideas, never happened. I thought about it, never did it. Anyway, moving on to the point of this video, I recently got this. Now, this is the new Festool CTL-SYS. It's a small, very portable dust extractor. It's got the usual things: power takeoff, on-off switches. It's got a hose garage at the top for the vacuum hose and the power cable. But what intrigued me about it, or what got me thinking, was that on the back it has this grill here, this flap, and behind here is the exhaust port from the turbine in the vac. Now, this means that you can take the hose, plug it into here, and you can use it as a blower as well as a vacuum. Now, HVLP systems were initially developed from vacuum cleaner technology, using the same turbines to produce the vacuum. Same motors, same turbines, same technology. Now, the only difference is that with the turbine it's blowing, and with the vacuum it's sucking. But this, because it's got that port on the back, can blow as well as suck. So that got little cogs going in my head, and I thought, could I use the blower function on this to power this gun? So I decided to do a bit of research into the relative specs of both these units. The Erlex moves 42 cubic feet of air per minute, and the pressure is around 2.2 psi. The Festool, being German, all the specs are in metric, and it moves 3,000 litres of air per minute. Now if you convert that to cubic feet, that's just over 105 cubic feet per minute. This is 42, this is 105, so that's 2.5 times the airflow. Now the vacuum created by this is listed in the specs as being 20,000 Pascal. Now to me it seems logical that a vacuum is just a negative pressure, and whatever negative pressure is created at the inlet must be reflected by an equal positive pressure at the outlet. Well, 20,000 Pascal, if you convert that, is 2.9 psi, so that's a 30% increase over the Airlex. This is rated at 650 watts, this is rated at 1000 watts. So this is higher rated, it's moving 3 times as much air at 30% higher pressure than this. So in theory this should be much better at powering this gun than this is. So that's what I'm going to try. I'm going to hook this gun up to this and see what happens, and hopefully it'll work and I won't destroy my new dust extractor. Right, we've got both units set up ready for the test now. The hoses on the 2 units aren't really compatible. This plastic hose won't fit into the outlet of that, and the end of the Festool hose won't fit into the gun, but that's not a problem because we've got the Festool hose in the outlet from the CTL-SYS. We've got nothing in the intake port because we want to leave that free. There's a relatively clean filter bag in there, so there shouldn't be anything to restrict the airflow going in. The Airlex hose is just a push fit. It's about a 29mm diameter. That's just a push fit into the back of the gun there. It's the same fitting on the front here. So when I want to switch between the two, what I can actually do is just pull this out of here, and it's a little bit tight, but that will just about go into the Festool 27mm fitting. So that's a nice, strong, secure fixing. So that shouldn't come apart. So I can easily switch between the two. So we need to mix some paint now, and then we can do a comparison between the two. This video is running a bit longer than I thought it would. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to split this into 2 parts. So if you want to click onto the second part now, and we'll get some spraying done.